I don't know if you guys are familiar with Organics Alive. Do you know that company? So they make their products are so similar to just like it looks like a synthetic salt based. It's like blue and pink and green, and it's a fine powder that's water soluble. And they're making this with bacterial fermentation. So they're using bacteria to produce specific ratios of NPK. And so, like, to me, whenever I have clients who are trying to get into organics, that's what I get a lot of consulting. Like, hey, I'm a hydro grower, but I really want to go organic. I point them in the direction of Organics Alive because it's so similar to a hydroponic synthetic setup with your part A, B, whatever, and you just mix in to water. But like, I'd really like to talk to them about how they're producing their phosphorus because I use that a lot in my during flower because I feel like it has to be more sustainable. They're literally creating it from bacteria, but then I'm like, well, what's the food source? Because you can't just create something out of nothing, right? Like it has to come from somewhere. So what is that initial source of food that's feeding the bacteria to create that level of phosphorus? I don't know.
That was a big focus we had with Stash Blend is we were like, oh, well, we want to be able to get seaweed extract in, and like even the thing to feed the microbes, it was a corn steep liquor, which was a corn byproduct, which is a waste we're buying from a company that's like we're gonna throw it away essentially. So it makes it so it's like not taking more from the earth. We're just taking what would be wasted, so to speak. And I think that's what people need to utilize more of. It's that process of doing it. It's the propaganda that people don't really recycle, that they're just destroying everything everywhere, which they could be. But it's the same argument of sustainability for organic. So they're like, yeah, well, they're just destroying small villages overseas to get most of that shit anyways. So you feel all proud like you're helping the earth, but you're killing people. Like that's the part we as consumers have to do the due diligence before we're purchasing stuff. That's why making it yourself, if you can, is obviously the way to go. Because then you know how it was obtained. You did it.
Definitely.
I looked up, I took a second here to look up phosphorus and how it's created for synthetic fertilizers. And I thought this was interesting. I figured I'd mention it here real quick. So it's primarily derived from phosphate rock. So the mining happens, right? Then it's processed to remove impurities. Then it actually gets transferred into phosphoric acid. And then from there, it gets, in order to create the phosphate fertilizers, the phosphoric acid is converted into different forms, such as monoammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate, superphosphate, and then at some points it's granulized. So there's just additional processing happening. It's really the source is the mining of the phosphate, which a lot of organic fertilizers, they'll just stop there, right? And that's what they give to the customers. Or in the synthetic side of things, they're going to take that and then put it into the other forms, process it into other forms, which of course are going to take a lot more energy.
Not to mention, there's a few problems with that. 70% of phosphate rock is found in Morocco. So you've got a supply chain issue. Physogypsum, which is a byproduct of phosphorus, is radioactive and it is stored. And so it provides or can have concerns of leaking into groundwater, ground sources. So, and so not to mention the depletion of the rock itself. So yeah, there's some negative aspects to phosphorus mining, but the problem is like, unless you're going to get it yourself, which you can do for many sources, I feel like there's going to be, you have to either find an alternative source or an alternative product or an alternative element to kind of make up for it. And I'm not sure what the opposite of phosphorus or an alternative to phosphorus is.
I think it'd be the makeup of it. Like you look at Nick from Rooted Leaf, they have carbon based. So he was big in like, it's a different source on how we're getting some of these elements. And it's like, just like with this organic company, they're sourcing it to give you the same NPK that you'd be getting. It's similar to the Impossible Burger, which I hear is worse for you anyways, but you can get what you want without having to get the bad side for you. I think there's more options than ever, but then again, it costs money. I feel like a lot of this stuff, the more ease of use it has, the more money it costs. The more it's blended and done for you, the more it's going to cost you overall. So you do still, no matter what, circling back, still have to know the science before you could even dive into this realm versus the simple and plain, let me go get my Trio series of general trash hydroponics and just boop, 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 Lucas formula, and it works. And you can't argue that it works, but the sustainability, if the supply chain stops, you might be done growing. You're most likely done growing. Things hit the fan, you're going to be thriving over there. Like you're good. You'll be the queen of the world at that point. Because you'll be like, oh, what do you need? You need refund? You need food? Like, yeah,
exactly.
we'll be.
That's what I told you. I'm waiting for this apocalypse.
Yeah. She's like, we're cooking. But crypto, we're looking for crashes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for phosphorus, that's been my internal battle. I've been saying this. It's just like, how do I become more sustainable? And I think planting directly in the ground is going to help you achieve, like you said, getting that phosphorus yourself. The soil outside, if you're growing outdoors, your native soil has phosphorus. The simple thing to do is just get a soil test. And then unfortunately, like plants, like I said, 85% or something of the soil phosphorus isn't available to plants. And so like, that's why I created my product, Immunity. It's, even though it's not, I don't advertise it as that. It's really what I've used for the last 5 years as I've tried to figure out this phosphorus issue, because phosphorus is so important. It's the main part of ATP, which is the energy currency of plants. This is how plants do everything. And so we see like a huge surge in the need for phosphorus. And how do we just unlock what's already there, since 85% is locked up? So like targeting specific microbes that create enzymes. I think that enzymes are overlooked. I don't think there's enough discussion. Like, I'm obsessed with enzymes. Enzymes are the magic of the world. They are the chemists. They create chain reactions. They do things that could take millions of years and do it in a matter of days or hours. Enzymes are produced by microbes. That's why we see nutrient cycling in living soil systems relying on microbes. It's because of the acids and the enzymes that they produce. Enzymes are long chains of amino acids. This is the building blocks of life. This is how we get things done. This is how life grows. And so like malted barley, I was scouring, trying to figure out what enzymes do I need? Like if you look at products that have enzymes in them, which I'm not going to name names, but if it says enzyme or zyme, what enzyme is in there? Because every enzyme does a specific thing. And so if they can't tell you what enzyme is in there, then what the hell? What are you buying? So like phosphatases is the enzymes that specifically breaks down phosphorus and makes it available to a plant. So mycorrhizal fungi produces acids that will break down phosphorus. Malted barley contains phosphatases in it. It also contains chitinase and amylase. Chitinase breaks down chitin, which is in cell walls of fungi, as well as exoskeletons of insects. Amylase breaks down carbohydrates into fermentable sugars that then bacteria are going to consume. So it's like, obviously not that everyone is going to go out and learn all about enzymes and exactly which ones do what for you. But personally, like, to me, that they're the magicians of the world. I love chemistry. I love science. Like, I want to know what the hell is going on in the world, because to me, that's the most fascinating reality TV show there is. Go outside and look at nature and see what's going on. And being able to unlock and work with nature, work with your ecosystem, to me is the most beautiful thing that I can do. It is like my God-given right to be a sovereign individual, a steward of the land. Like, we're in the modern day Garden of Eden right over here. And Adam and Eve, we're taking care of things, not relying on a outside system to provide for me. I want to provide for others, provide for my family, provide for my plants. And like I said, plants are 250 million years old. They know how. The systems are there. Unfortunately, our current system doesn't rely on that. It relies on, let's buy more things, let's do this to make money, because that's what capitalism is.
This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.